All right, welcome back here at ABC 24. We're making a New Year's resolution. We want to be your source for high school sports.
So we started that by hitting the courts. Now, I've been watching some of the top teams in the area, Ruben. I started it this week. I started it down in Whitehaven. Let's actually get into that game first and my takeaways from that. So the thing with Whitehaven and St. George, you're looking at a St. George's team that went to the state semifinals last year. You had a Whitehaven team that's really good in its own right, ranked number 19 in the state of Tennessee. That's according to Max Preps, because use who you want to go off of with your rankings. But what my takeaways from this game, Ruben, is Whitehaven is a very physical team. And it's kind of like what we talked about with Memphis. They play defense really well, but they don't really have a go-to guy. They're just kind of that get-it-out-the-mud type of team. And St. George, they're your classic private school team. They're a team that is very fundamental, and they kind of wait to get the best shot. The thing that I learned about St. George is obviously they have some off-the-court stuff where they are actually down 3 players, and the fact that they can still be this competitive, I think going into that game that it only lost 3 games and none was by more than 5 points. So when I was watching this game, I thought that St. George was going to get the dub. And so I left before it went to overtime. And to find out that Whitehaven ended up pulling out the victory, our guy, friend of the program, Wendell, told me, in a way, Whitehaven went and got that game.
Well, I watched Whitehaven play Arlington because I wanted to see Rod, the quarterback from Arlington, play basketball. I was wanting to catch him playing basketball because, he's a big basketball guy. And I would say that your take on Whitehaven is very accurate. Physical, defensive-minded, moved the ball pretty well. Didn't necessarily have a guy that you were like, every time this dude touches the ball, he's electric. Didn't necessarily have that guy, at least it's early in the season still. But that was kind of my initial take when I watched them play. And I was impressed with how physical, they're long, and how high the motor is for those players on that team. That was a good team.
Yeah, and so to kind of segue, Whitehaven, the team that they're playing with next, is the team that I want to talk about, and that is the Central Warriors. So Tuesday, we went and I covered Central in Kingsborough. Now, the thing that interests me about Central, they were undefeated. They were 16-0. They were arguably the best team in our area, even though.
Watch out.
And then they took their first L in the Memphis Hoop Fest, which I hate that I did not know about it. But they took their first L to a team from St. Louis in the Memphis Hoop Fest this past weekend. And so when you have something like that, I think we're seeing it in the NBA with the Thunder. When you go on this big run and then you lose, then the losses start piling together. So I'm always interested to see how a team responds after taking that first L. And this is what I called on the Tuesday night sportscast. It was a get-right game because they dominated Kingsborough. And it's a guy, this team has a multitude of guys who could get it done. A.J. Polk, who you see there, who got the layup. They got a guy named Mikael Boyd. He had hit a corner 3. I really like Central. They are another one of those disciplined teams. They move the ball around. Even they know how to beat a press. And I'm just excited to watch them play some more.
They don't look big.
They aren't really.
Which is crazy. I mean, so I believe, unless I'm mistaken, I believe Central beat some big prep team.
I forgot the name.
They beat, I don't know, I want to say Link, but I don't know if it was Link. They beat some prep team earlier this season that kind of put them on the map, so to speak.
Yeah.
So they are one of the best teams in our region for sure. Remember during football season, I would say part of the struggle we would deal with is week to week, you would know where the competitive games were going to be.
Yeah.
There were good teams, but the way the regions were set up and stuff, you didn't always get competitive games. Yeah. I don't think you're going to have that problem here in basketball.
Exactly, especially I've only been doing this
for 2
days.
Last night.
Literally, I've only been doing this for 2 days, and and that's why I tell you, please let me know about what's going on in the area, who's good, because back-to-back nights, Ruben, overtime. First game like Whitehaven, St. George, overtime, and this next game that went into overtime
is probably the best team in our area. You said Central, but
I'm saying Central. I mean, record-wise, like you say, numbers don't lie.
But Bartlett is nationally ranked.
But Bartlett has 3 L's.
Bartlett is pretty strong.
They are. I mean, and let's get into it. Bartlett is the number 10 ranked team in the country.
They got the size to go with it, the length.
But you look at this game last night, Ruben, in Houston, and I came into it like I'm hearing all the noise about Bartlett. I'm thinking Bartlett is just going to kind of cruise and control. Bartlett had to go get this game because for the most part, while I was there, this was Houston dominating. I got there, Bartlett was down 7, went into halftime, and on this run right here, Houston ended up stretching the lead to double digits. You're thinking they're going to run away with it. Yeah. I know, Justin Bryson, what a player that is. And Caleb Davis, he was the one who threw down the gem. And those two had a little bit of a connection going. But Houston, they really impressed me in this one. I didn't know that Houston was that good. I was talking to, once again, our guy Wendell, and he was like, yeah, man, we arguably saw probably the 2 best teams in the area. No.
I think Houston is talented too, and Houston's got a ton of kids at that school too, so they have a lot to choose from. But basketball is big here, bigger than I even expected when I first got here. Right, like basketball is big here on the boys' side for sure. And I will say that Bartlett, the little bit I've been able to see, because we said the New Year's we said, all right, we're getting into high school, we're going to focus on high school. Bartlett's got the resume right now to back it up. They've got dudes who can hoop. They've got guys with Division I offers.
Yeah. So word on the street was Penny Hardaway. He was at the game last night. I didn't want to, get him on video, privacy, and stuff like that. But word on the street was he offered 4 people who played in that game. 3 of them came from Bartlett.
So 3 from Bartlett and 1 from Whitehaven, one from Houston, I mean. And so that just tells you in one game 4 potential Division I players.
Exactly. And don't you gotta love it that he's staying in-house and recruiting? Because he could easily be, of course he's still gonna hit the portal.
Yes.
He's still gonna hit the portal, but he's still doing the traditional recruiting, and he's recruiting here. So I want people to not lose sight of that Penny still is trying to get guys from Memphis to play for Memphis. And one more thing about Bartlett, that number 1 in the highlights, Braylon Williams, that kid is good. I was gone before it went to overtime, but he hit a game tying 3 to send it into overtime. Our guy Wendell had the footage. I should have got it from him. But man, that kid is good. Like, he's going to be good.
There's other teams around here that are good, talented as well. We've talked about Briarcrest.
Yeah.
I
got to get my eyes on them.
Fred Smith Jr. And Joshua Huggins. Both of those dudes are good. They can play.
Yeah.
So you're talking about another team in the area that's got a lot of talent that we haven't had a chance to get our eyes on yet either.
We will. I promise you we will.
But so there's a lot of high school football in this area that I think we all have to, like, if you're a basketball fan, and to your point before I say this last piece, Penny recruiting in-house is huge.
Yes.
Probably bigger than most people realize. It's huge because let's just say Penny were to leave and go somewhere else. You don't know if the next coach would even recruit Memphis. They may have a totally different network of kids and players that they go to. So Penny recruiting in-house, I think, is huge. And I do think that outside of P4, what we called mid-major forever, those guys still have to have some high school kids on the roster.
Yeah.
They need to have some young kids you can't have culture if you don't have some kids coming through your system consistently. So hats off to Penny for being at the game. Hats off to Penny for offering kids in the area. I respect that a lot.
Yes, and we will continue covering high school basketball this coming Friday. We will have Central versus Whitehaven. You can catch
that's going to be a good one
on ABC 24 News at 10.
All right.